Hello and welcome to another The Race Zone channel video. Today we will recap stage 16 of the Giro d'Italia 2023, and it was, by my opinion, the best stage of the race. Really interesting stage from the beginning all the way to the finish. It was 203 kilometers from Sabio Chiese to Monte Bondone, from the shores of Lago di Garda all the way to the high mountains of Monte Bondone. So in the beginning we had a big breakaway forming. As expected, some teams wanted to sneak in GC contenders, and Bora and Bahrain did that with Haig and Conrad, but Aegidware, they went all in and they put Aurélien Parapontre in the breakaway alongside his brother Valentin. Aurélien was some 3.5 minutes behind Thomas, who is essentially the leader in the race before the stage. And it was an interesting day. Will the peloton let them go? How big of an advantage they will build? Also in the breakaway was a battle for the rest of the jerseys. We had Jonathan Milan and Derek G competing for the Maglia Ciclamino, and we had Ben Healy who was going for the KOM points. So the only team from the big teams that was missing in the breakaway was Jumbo-Visma, so they sent Affini to control the breakaway along San Francis de G guys. Healy won the first KOM, and he took the lead in that classification. But on the second climb, he was done dirty by the Bardiani guys, who were going for far out. Then he had to close the gap, and then Gaburo, the second Bardiani rider, he pips him. So yeah, I don't know what they were doing. Maybe they are friends of Bias, maybe they're just going for the prize money. But it's all fair and square. They did what they wanted, and they capitalized on that. But Ben Healy, he wasn't really satisfied with what they did. So after the descent, on the next climb, we had Astana boys Scarponi and Bronski attacking. They went away from the breakaway, so another Fuga de la Fuga. And for some 50 kilometers we didn't have a lot of action. Jumbo was still pacing. When they reached the Serrada climb, they upped the pace a bit with Omen. The first group merged with second group. In the first group were all the favorites for the GC. Parapontre, Conrad, Haig. Also Filippo Zana was an interesting rider in that breakaway. So at the top of Serrada they had 4.5 minutes, something like that. Jumbo was chasing still in the peloton, and after the valley section we start climbing Monte Bondone. The breakaway has some 4 minutes lead, so we know that's probably too little for them. Peloton is still chasing with the Jumbo guys. Sam Omen is done. Then we see Cohen Baumann pulling for a bit. Then Rohan Dennis, he went on for a fair amount of time, cutting out the lead of the breakaway to some 1.5 minutes. But in the peloton we see that Roglic is in the middle of the group. He's not really looking that strong. Armela is in the back, showing I can't do it anymore, showing his tongue, but fighting for the Maglia Rosa. He honored it with great respect, so chapeau to him. And then once Rohan Dennis was over pulling, we see other teams looking at each other, who's going to pull, who's not. Team UAE, they have 4 riders: Vine, McNulty, Almeida, and Formolo. So first Formolo goes on the front. He pulls for a couple of kilometers, I think. McNulty, I think he was finished even before it was his time to pull. And then Jane Vine takes over. He really shreds the peloton. We see Armela is gone. Pino is now gone. I don't know what was he doing. He lost the GC. He lost a lot of points for the KOM today, but probably we will see him on the attack on Friday and Saturday. So I personally hope that he will take the jersey. A lot of guys are in trouble. Caruso, Buitrago, Rubio, Kamna, they are all struggling. And then once Jane Vine is finished, Almeida starts pulling the favorites group, which contains him, Thomas, Kus, and Eddie Dunbar, and Filippo Zana from the breakaway. So after 500 meters, Almeida realizes, wait, I'm not supposed to pull the the GC group. Then they look at each other. Dunbar says to Zana, go to the front. I'm 8 in the general classifications. I'm moving a lot of places, so let's push the tempo. We see Zana riding for like kilometer and a half, so really good pull from him, even though he was in the breakaway for the whole day. And once Zana is gone, then Sepp Kuss is pacing, but he's not really pacing hard. And at 6 kilometers to go, Almeida digs deep and attacks the GC favorites group. He creates a small gap of around, let's say, 3 or 4 bike lengths, and he rides like that for more than a kilometer. And then at 4.5 kilometers, we see that Dunbar is struggling, but someone else starts struggling a couple of 100 meters later, and that is Primož Roglič. So like I said, he didn't really look that great in the group. He was pedaling with a higher cadence, and we know that he's the best when he's like on the really hard gear and when he's at a lower cadence. So once Thomas sees Roglič struggling, he sprints to Almeida, catches him, then pulls Almeida for like a couple of kilometers. Once they reach the flatter section of the course, Thomas asks Almeida to work with him, and he does. So they are now doing relays, Almeida and Thomas. Behind Kuss is pulling the group of Roglič and Dunbar. They reach the final kilometer. Almeida and Thomas are still working together. Kuss is dropped. Roglič tries to minimize his losses. Thomas and Almeida are 100 meters to go. Almeida starts sprinting, and he wins this stage in front of Thomas. So Team UAE's work pays off. He even gains time on everyone else. Roglič comes home in third, 25 seconds behind the Almeida Thomas group. Eddie Dunbar on his wheel in fourth. Kuss is a distance in fifth, and then the second, or actually third, GC favorites group containing Caruso, Rubio, I think De Plus, Arensman, and Leknesund, I think. So they lose a lot of time. Van Wilder, yes, Caruso, Rubio, De Plus, Arensman, Kamna a bit behind, and then Hugh Carty. Everyone else, Leknesund was actually 2 minutes and 42 seconds behind. Thibaut Pinot, he lost 3 minutes. Now I don't again understand why he does this. Why don't just let go and fight another day for the KOM points? But it's his Giro. I guess they know what they're doing. Groupama, FDJ, Bruno Armenais are 4 minutes and 30 seconds down. He loses the pink jersey, but like I said, really good performance from him. Geraint Thomas is now again leading the pink. Is leading the race with the pink jersey, but only 18 seconds in front of Almeida, who is looking really good. Now, before we finish, let's just look at the stage for tomorrow. It's a very long stage, 197 kilometers, but mostly downhill, so expect a really fast race. A big average speed from Perini Valsugana to Caorle on the seaside, only 1 meter of elevation. They go through the famous resort Lido di Jesolo. So I don't know, I think this is a sprint stage. We don't have a lot of sprinters left. I don't know if Mark Cavendish will survive this course. I think Jonathan Milan did. Probably Ackerman, Matthews. It will be interesting who will pull tomorrow, but I still think it is a sprinter's day. Thank you all for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you tomorrow in my next video. Bye.